What's good, YouTube, and welcome to The House. This is a brand new series about buying, selling, and trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I realize there's a lot of different reasons you might actually be doing these things. So the first step you really have to consider is, why do I want to? Some people simply put, want to pay for travel and the cards that they play with on the side, and I think that having a self-sustaining hobby, a hobby that supports itself, is admirable. That's how I try to be with my figure collection, but I can also admit when I get way too attached to some figures. I got a problem, okay? Some people want to basically create a part-time job or side hustle in order to help pay living expenses along with playing a game that they loved growing up. Others want to grow a collection of cards at cost, and while tying up parts of your capital to continue to grow a collection can be rough, it can be done. Whatever your reason for wanting to turn a profit off of trading cards, you've come to the right place. Throughout this series, I'll be revealing a lot of my trading, buying, and selling philosophies, but first I have to ask some simple questions that you're going to need to answer for me. How much time do you have to realistically spare? A lot of people think that buying and selling trading cards is easy and it ends right there, but it's so much more than that. How do you feel about mailing out 10 things a day? Somewhat easy, right? Now scale that on up. How do you feel about shipping out 100 things a day, even 1,000? Now you're starting to have to sort out the cards too, alphabetically, and organize them. You have to decide what point you really want to be at to increase your trades and what you want to keep taking in. For example, buying bulk is something that not everybody is going to do. Buying bulk commons is your best percentage of profit, period. You're spending a penny on sometimes quarters to even dollars, and that's great, but in realistic numbers, you won't always yield the same amount of dollar profit if you were really grinding out the $2 to $5 cards, and you're going to take even longer to sort, mail with, and work through those bulk commons. Now, some people do have the time to sit around and do that, but I don't think each and every one of you watching does. Keeping up with price changes and trends, as well as physically attending events, takes up a lot of time. Not everything can be done online, and much better deals typically happen in person. The second question I need you to ask yourself is, how much of a people person are you? Not everybody does so well with other people, but a huge part of success for the average person buying, selling, and trading is being able to have an enjoyable experience with others so that they continue to come back to you. Repeat customers are a good thing, right? Being good with people, or at least a friend group, will also constantly save you money on traveling to regionals and events via gas, splitting that gas bill, or hotels. I know something like a trade falling out can be a very frustrating experience, but over time you learn to avoid those who would waste your time, and you continue to make deals with those worthwhile to you. Being able to network is a massive part of being a successful trader, and unless you plan to make your deals through online trading via Discord, Facebook, and messaging forums, but even then, you need to have some sociability. We'll talk about all of this more later. My third question to you is, how attached do you actually get to these cards? Getting attached to your cards can be very problematic. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! And have played since the very beginning of the game, which is almost 2 decades now. I get attached to cards a lot myself, but anytime I'm keeping a card, that directly takes away from both my liquid capital and my card trading stock in my binders. The solution I found for myself is, and this works for me, it might not work for you, is a self-reward system. Every so often, I'll set aside a few cards to keep long term, maybe about 2% of the profit of my entire haul per event or trade. That way I'm not cutting deep into my base of total cards, and I earned it. This is out of profit. This system won't work for everyone, like I said, because some of you are in it for collection purposes, and some cards acquired are meant to keep also as long-term investments, which can get confusing with cards you're keeping for yourself. But keep all of this in mind moving forward. I actually want to give a direct example, such as paperclip trading. I had a Ghost Honest at an event. I ended up trading 3 times, and I had a decent amount of profit from that, so I traded back for a Ghost Honest and took a little $5 hit on this trade, but throughout the day, directly trading the Honest, I was up about $50 trading. So overall, I got my Ghost Honest back and $45 worth. When you are trading for profit, eventually the cards tend to come back to you, even at a small cost. My fourth question to you is, do you have a strong determination? Many people get antsy with investments. Heck, a lot of you might even get nervous just shipping out about $20 of cards into the mail. Here's a direct example. You went after an old school collectible and it hasn't shown growth in 3 whole months, meaning you could have flipped that money several times in the meantime. When acquiring expensive old cards to keep long term, ask yourself several things. Are you attached and making excuses to keep it? Are you capable of sinking this money or trade value in for the long term? You know, bills are a thing. How much liquid capital and trade value do you have versus your investment? Do you truly find this to be a good investment over time? You have to determine these kinds of things over time yourself and find your own bearings and way. I can't answer everything for you, can't be there and hold your hand, but I will try to do my best to help you out in the comment section down below. My next 2 points are absolutes for myself rather than questions to you. Number 5 is never rip somebody off. I know this goes against the logic of maximizing values, but ripping somebody off is likely to stop them from being a repeat client, especially if they catch wind that you intentionally did so. I always joke that I went for the waist on people in deals, while others went for the ankles and knees. While getting a great deal can be exhilarating, you need to consider the person across from you as another person and work things out with them so that they enjoy the experience of buying, selling, or trading with you. I've had times where someone made an offer that was a landslide victory for myself, and instead of just taking the deal, I would toss in cards back to them for free, obviously still winning in trade value but not by as much, and they'd almost always have a beaming smile at the end of the deal. And yes, these were with adults. Most people in today's environment have quick access to card values via their phone, so it's rare that people don't know what they have, but cards will still over double in value within a single weekend in this game today. Even if values are feeling inflated, don't just take from the unknowing, provide a good experience, and they'll keep providing for you in the future. My final absolute isn't going to be an easy one for a lot of you guys to follow, but that's to never buy and sell at an event venue unless it's to do so with an OTS vendor. This is by far the hardest rule to follow, and a lot of you guys are probably rolling your eyes, faces glazing over, but for multiple reasons such as tax purposes and needing a dealer's license, tournament organizers cannot allow people to exchange money freely on the floor, and it becomes their responsibility to enforce that when they rent the venue. I cannot emphasize this enough. Having a poor relationship with the people hosting the venue is a terrible business strategy. A lot of people go with the don't get caught mentality and think they're simply absolutely deals they cannot miss out on now. But these events are truly opportunities to create a better social network and to make trades at, so you can set up buying and selling outside the venue in the future with these people. Let me tell you what, I've been caught before buying and selling kicked out of the venue, and it took a long time to repair that relationship with the TO, and it did not feel good. So meet up early at a breakfast joint like IHOP or Denny's. Meet up after for dinner with multiple clients. While not everybody can be this organized and you miss out on a few potential deals, You don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg, and in this case, that goose happens to be your relationship with the venue host. I realize people can flake on deals enough as it is, but setting up deals to meet up after the regional at restaurants before you head back has never been easier thanks to the new time rules, and that's perhaps the only positive thing I can say about them is getting off early, and not turning potentially profitable relationships with the tournament organizers into very sour ones is paramount. I found a few times where I was able to buy out entire stores' inventories after sitting down and crunching the numbers with these store owners and hashing it on out, but even on a smaller scale if you're looking for that, I find the hookup on deals with their vendors when I consistently spend a decent amount of money on them and am looking for cards that I can go ahead and send out to buy list or sell online. Not everyone can secure this kind of a relationship with their local tournament organizer, but it's worth trying and takes risk out of the equation for your tournament and trading experiences. Now that you've had time to answer all of these questions and consider my own way that I personally do business, I do hope that you find yourself a little more knowledgeable about the kind of buyer, seller, or trader that you want to be, and throughout this series, I plan to try to help each and every level of that, be it the person looking to just pay for their own hobby or the person trying to make this a job for themselves. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the discussion, please subscribe if you haven't already and give the video a thumbs up. And if you disagree with anything in this video, which I know some of you will, do put that in the comment section down below, and I'm always happy to talk it out with you. Thanks for watching, everybody.